Hey, Pack. So, um, I was gonna do another review of a book. Now, this is an old book, and I'm sure tons of people have read it. But for those who haven't, or for those who need to be reminded it exists and reread it because it is a awesome book, is Chronicles of Narnia: The Magician's Nephew. I'm reading the books again on Audible, so not reading, but don't judge me on that. Literally, I just get tired. I wish I could read without getting tired. I get very tired. And so the audiobook allows me to focus more, and I can picture it better, and I miss being able to read. I used to be able to do it, but now it's just like, I don't know. But The Magician's Nephew, chronologically is the first book, but if I was going to recommend reading them, I would do it in its release order, not the chronological order. And I say that because it's sort of like Star Wars. If you watch it chronologically, any of the surprises are kind of ruined because in the release order, there's more surprise. And, the buildup of those surprises get ruined when you watch it chronologically because you come in knowing information and the buildup doesn't seem quite as intense. So I think I said that without any spoilers. But I love this book. I don't know that it's my favorite. I don't think it is. Maybe I'll come to a conclusion once I finish all of them. But this book is kind of a warm fuzzy for me. It really, I don't know, it's simplistic in its story, but then really deep. And as someone who loves just the actual Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, it has so many nods to that it's just like, And I love the way C.S. Lewis narrates. Obviously, in this audiobook, it's being narrated by a specific person, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who. It's someone I don't think I had heard of before I listened to the audio version. But he was very good. And so if you go on Audible and get the complete collection, that's going to have the same version that I listened to. And he was just really talented. And the complete collection, I mean, it has people like Michael York, who narrates The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Patrick Stewart, who narrates The Last Battle. So it's like, you have some really amazing narrators in there. And then some of the other ones, I'm not sure I know who they are, but they're very good. And I don't know, I felt like they picked really good people to narrate each of the books. It would have been nice to have it narrated by the same author all the way through, but at the same time, I don't know, because each book gives it a different feel, and even though it's all from kind of a narrator perspective, it's still, I don't know, it feels right. So I feel like the people who did it were just very gifted, and maybe, the book meant a lot to them too, because just they seem to put a lot of emotion into it that really, I don't know, fit. That being said, upsides of the book is, the kind of getting behind the curtain of some of the other books, primarily Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And just some insight into some characters that you normally wouldn't have gotten insight into. So that's fun. And then downside, I can't remember what it was, but I felt like there was one thing that was mentioned that continuity didn't match up. Now, that could be me misunderstanding a part or reading too much into it, but I remember there was just this one part that I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think this ever comes to anything. So I could be wrong about that, but it's a small thing, and I'm not one of those people who are going to freak out over continuity errors, because it'd have to be really world breaking for me to get upset about it. Mostly because as an author, it is really hard to have perfect continuity. There's a lot to remember, a lot to keep in mind. And I don't think I've ever read a single author's work that didn't have at least a few small continuity errors. And it's just a fact. And so that's why I don't even get upset when movies have some continuity errors, unless, again, it's like world breaking. Like, this is your whole premise of the story and you broke it. So I can go on that tangent another time with a particular movie that just came to mind. But so much fun. If you're a parent, I would totally read it to your kids. I mean, all of the Narnia books, of course, are perfect for kids, but it's just, I don't know, there's something about this one that to me captured a lot of the outside of Narnia childhood. When, like, from what I remember, it's been a while since I read all the books, but from what I remember, most of them focus on being in Narnia. And this one, it's like a good portion of the book actually takes place outside of Narnia, which I really liked. And so it was neat to see that little bit of world building, character building of the outside of Narnia part. And, I mean, the purpose of the books is mostly, it's Narnia, Chronicles of Narnia. So, again, not saying that that's a bad thing that the other books don't focus on that, but it was just, I don't know, something about that and the way they built it. C.S. Lewis is such a talented author. I haven't read any of his other fictions, which I really want to. So I think I may already have them as audiobooks and just haven't got to them yet. I have a very large Audible library that I'm trying to get through a little bit. Anyway, I'm making this very long, and I would give it a 5 out of 5. I don't do that for a lot of books, but I just listened to it and I could already listen to it again. I love it that much. And I'm also eager to get into the next book. So it has its pros and cons. It's like it gets you ready to go into the rest, but at the same time it's like, I kind of want to read that again because it was so good, and maybe I'll catch some things I didn't catch the first time. And yeah, so I definitely encourage everyone to read it or get an audiobook and, enjoy it that way. But that is really it. I figured, when I actually am going through some books, to just do a little review, and, I think it's just really awesome. And I hope more of this generation goes back to some of the older books, like Tolkien and Lewis, and really digs into them, because these are classics, and they inspired me to want to write, because I just love the way they spell things out, and just really captures. And of course, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. If you're gonna go with some of the famous British or English, not sure which is the proper term, authors, you gotta and then J.K. Rowling, and but Lewis, I think I like his maybe a little bit better. But until next time, out the moon. Bye.